What's up, guys?
What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? So, Beauty and the Beast,
Kong
Skull Island, Logan.
Episode 8, Last Jedi
The
teaser
best
trailer.
love letters to Hollywood that we've
This
ever
film
seen.
is a masterpiece. So, until the next time, goodbye.
Baywatch is directed by Seth Gordon, and it is a movie based on an 80s TV show which involved David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson running down the beach in slow motion, saving people, and it was basically a show where plot didn't matter. It was basically about boobs, 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 and maybe some more boobs. And basically, this movie is an R-rated version of what that TV show did. So very little plot, lots of very nice-looking women, and now we have a movie. You know, Baywatch really could have been terrible, because there have been so many really, really bad movies based on 80s, 90s TV shows, and they've tried to update it for contemporary audiences, and they've absolutely failed. But I'm happy to say that Baywatch really isn't that bad. It's all over the place, and it's tonally inconsistent, but it's actually quite enjoyable. And I'm happy to say that it's really not that bad. It's definitely not great. It's all over the place, but it's really not that bad. So in this film, The Rock plays Mitch Buchanan, who is the beloved buff lifeguard of the Bay, and he and his team, they save people from drowning, and they do all the things that lifeguards do. So when Zac Efron comes along, he plays a character called Matt Brody. He stirs things up, disrupts the dynamic of the team, and really gets on The Rock's nerves. So he's this disgraced Olympic swimmer who's been assigned to The Rock's team, and one of the best parts of the film definitely is Zac Efron and The Rock's bromantic relationship, and the all-round chemistry between the lifeguards on the team. The film knows what it wants to be, and that's a major asset. It doesn't want to be serious, it has a consistent tone of comedy, and it knows what it wants to be. It's never taking itself too seriously, and it's very light-hearted, and the performances are all round very good. The Rock is a very charming actor, and he brings his charm to this role, and Zac Efron continues his winning streak of comedies, and they work really well off each other. The rest of the lifeguard characters are all very chirpy, particularly Alexandra Daddario, that's how you say her name, and she was very good. And also the comic relief side character, played by John Bass. He actually wasn't annoying, and he had a couple of good laughs. So those are the good things about the film. It has a nice comedic tone, and never takes itself too seriously, and the performances reflect that. But when the actual plot kicks in, there's not really much there. So the idea of the plot is that there are drugs being shipped into the Bay, and The Rock and the team basically have to investigate and figure out where these drugs are coming from, who's dealing them, and stop the bad guys. But they're lifeguards, and there are policemen who say, you know, you're lifeguards, and Zac Efron, as you've seen in the trailer, says, we're lifeguards, we shouldn't be doing police work. And yeah, they shouldn't be, so that leads to some situations. So they have to investigate, and that's what the plot is. The villain of the film is fine. She's not terrible, but she's like a cookie-cutter Bond villain. She wants world domination, and she's, you know, over the top, kind of campy, and she's a very cookie-cutter villain. You could have taken her out, put her into another film, taken her from one film, put her into this one. So she's a standard villain, but it's fine. It works for the plot. Yeah. The action sequences are perfectly serviceable. There's nothing wrong with them, but sometimes they're, you know, the close combat ones are a bit shaky, and there are too many angle changes which weren't necessary. But yeah, they were adequately done. But what drives the film forward is the relationship between the lifeguards. And that's the best thing about the film, the chemistry and the team. That whole message of teamwork and the lifeguards teaming up together, Zac Efron coming to appreciate The Rock and vice versa. That's what the film is all about. So on a technical level, Baywatch isn't the best made film, but honestly, you're not going into Baywatch expecting a masterpiece. It does what it wants to do, and it actually has some really funny moments. The jokes are hit and miss, some jokes go on for a bit too long, there are continuity errors, but honestly, you don't really care about that. Baywatch is what Baywatch should be. I really went into the film expecting nothing, and came out pleasantly surprised. I'm going to give Baywatch a C+. Baywatch is not a masterpiece, but it is a fun time to be had. Luckily, Baywatch knows exactly what it wants to be. It never takes itself seriously. It has a goofy charm to it, nice jokes despite being hit and miss, and the performances all round are very solid. Honestly, it's probably going to become a guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm probably going to buy it and I wouldn't mind a sequel. So those are my thoughts on Baywatch. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and until the next time, goodbye.